Good afternoon, Bruin fans, and welcome to episode one here of season three of Something Bruin here with Coach Cook here as we get ready here to kick off the regular season episodes. And Coach Cook, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. This football's back. Obviously first week for us, week zero, we get to have a good contest against a quality team. So we're excited. Everybody's ready to go.
Yes, and then also here with our weekly show when the regular season is upon us. I mean, a platform here to promote Bruin football, and we start season three here of Something Bruin.
Absolutely, it's an honor. It's a blessing. We've talked many, many times, and just to allow our community to get like an inside look on the growth development of this program from A to Z. It's been fun to do, and I appreciate you for having us on this platform weekly.
Sure, no problem. Appreciate your time. So we got together here right before practice officially started, and boy, practice practice time there with the end of July. I mean, time flies, and the first scrimmage was last Friday there against Norcom.
Yeah, we learn a lot, but we also recognize there are little things we need to fix. And, that's a whole lot better than saying we're not where we thought we should be. So that's a testament to our coaching staff, our players wanting to desire to be coached. And, a scrimmage is better than not having one. We did not get the first scrimmage around the 10th through the 13th. Had a couple teams back out, but we never complained, never wavered. And then, we went against a good friend of mine, Coach Hawkins, and his staff, and IC Norcom Greyhounds, and we got everything we needed to see out of that scrimmage. And like I've said before, to Hatfield and to Rusty and Kirk,
Yeah.
the beauty is we all came out healthy. It's one to go in and a couple guys get injured or banged up, but we were able to come out of that last scrimmage last Friday. Both programs healthy.
Yeah, yeah, and then also, I mean, we might be on the eve of varsity football starting the regular season, but yesterday JV had a scrimmage.
Oh yeah, they had a game actually,
Oh,
and for them to kick their season off the way they did, was very impressed. It's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, sprinkled with some juniors. And the beauty about the juniors playing, it kind of teaches the freshmen and sophomores the standard, But ultimately, they did a phenomenal job against a well-coached team versus, IC Norcom's JV program, and was happy, very happy for Coach Thomas and Coach E and all of our coaching staff.
yes, yeah. So, tomorrow here, and for all the listeners out there, since school's not in yet, the kickoff time is at 6 o'clock, and we kick off here on Thursday night playing Menchville from the Peninsula, a team that got into the 5B playoffs, knocked off Woodside, made it to the second round, got knocked off by top seed Maury, but Menchville, they're a good respected Peninsula District football team.
Absolutely. We got a lot of respect for that program. The biggest thing for us is, did we get better a week ago? We're not trying to put a whole lot of pressure on our kids, and that's the message that we're going to share today. Did we improve a week ago? Can we go 1-0, not necessarily with record, but in our reps? And one of the things I shared with our coaching staff earlier today as well was we should never be big on quantity. We really want quality. And when we're seeing kids be successful in the quality reps versus how many reps we can get, that's what we want to see. So, we're excited. Our kids are excited. We get to play two games, much like last season before school starts. So it's summertime in the 757. So we're definitely happy for tomorrow's contest. And, that's kind of the message I shared earlier with your Mark. Football's back, baby. and we want
Yes.
to fill these stands. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I see that also next week. Their week one, but game two for us is also on a Thursday night, and I think that kickoff time starts at 6 as well.
Absolutely. It's a good team, another good team, right? And we're young, we're seasoned, so we need these type of games, right? Where we can see where we are, so we can make the adjustments down the line and getting ready for the playoff push and things, all things considered. But Benedict team will be coming to town, and we're going to be well prepared. But right now, our focus is really on Men'sville, and taking care of what we need to from an X's and O's standpoint, a mental, physical, social, emotional standpoint. The biggest other takeaway going into tomorrow is not getting too high, right? It's football's back, so we're so excited that we exert our energy at the wrong time. So we want to keep our young men even keeled and ready for tomorrow night's matchup.
Yeah, and then also there for the listeners, we do play a Southeastern District schedule, but we definitely, unlike the beach, we got to find one non-conference game, and then Lakeland doesn't play Oscar Smith, Grassfield, or us, so we actually have to find two non-conference games, and Menchville and Benedictine, Menchville Peninsula, Benedictine. They're in the 804. Definitely two programs that we haven't seen before. So definitely it'll be nice here to host some new opponents there on the Bruin schedule.
Absolutely. And, the other component is getting kids out of their comfort zone, playing opponents that we don't necessarily get to see, but yeah, getting the quality rep as well, playing competitive football. And again, I think that takes us deeper into the playoffs. It allows us to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And sometimes when you got to go on the road like we did last year, we got to have that we have to have that memory of what it felt like early in the year, to be ready for those playoff games. Now we're really looking too far down the road, but right now, as we mentioned, Benedictine and Men'sville are our two home openers here at Western Branch, and I feel like they're going to give us a good test, or we will at least continue to see where we are.
Yes, and also here something different here for Group 6A. I mean, the last two playoffs, we've opened up against Franklin County. Well, they've moved on to they've left 6A, and then also I've noticed that over in the beach, Kellum and Ocean Lakes have left. Group 6, but we have that school there in the 804, that Highland Springs, that's come from 5 to 6.
Right. I'm gonna say this very clearly. We play in the Southeastern District. However, the 6A region feels much like the Southeastern Conference of college football. From top to bottom, I think any of our programs within the 6A region can definitely give a run, for any other program in the state of Virginia in 6A. But no disrespect to any school up north. Coming from up there, I understand the dynamic of how many 6A schools are up there in that Northern Virginia area, Stafford, and so on and so forth area. But where we are, man, it's a who's who, right? It's almost like 3 or 4 teams could go undefeated throughout the entire season, but still have a third or fourth or fifth seeding. It could be 10-0, 10-0, 9-1, 9-1, 8-2. Whatever it looks like. But it's at the top, and there are other teams in the program in the 6A that can also compete at a high level. So it's going to be fun to watch. But I mean, why not compete at the highest level against the best of the best? And I feel like that bodes well with recruiting. When you look at, hey man, what type of competition do they play? In their region, in their district, so on and so forth. So I'm excited. Again, I don't think any school already in 6A are looking at anything any different. I think the 804 teams that get to compete against a well coached Highland Springs by Coach Johnson, those guys are much like us down here, respectfully, with Oscar Smith and Grassfield and so on and so forth. So it should be good. It should be fun. I'm very happy for our kids as a whole, because now you're playing big time football week in and week out to get to that playoff run.
Yes, and the thing is yes, looking forward to seeing the 2023 Bruin team play, but definitely here the recent graduates here that have laid down the foundation
Yes.
and are getting ready to play in their college season. And then we even go back to a few years ago that, Bruin alum Deshaun Dixon won a roster spot there with Jacksonville on signing a free agent contract, and he's getting ready here for his second year in the NFL. So definitely a lot of Bruin alums playing at the collegiate level, and then here with Deshaun being a Bruin alum playing in the NFL.
Yep, representing our high school in Norfolk State University and, our area. Awesome. But before I say all of that and kind of answer the question or your statement, it's a lot of young men that did not get a chance to go to college from Western Branch High School within our program, but yet they're doing a lot of good things in our community. They're doing a lot of good things, setting up their next phase and future endeavor in life. And we're still here for all of those young men, and it's exciting to see that we're doing a very good job as well retaining all of our student athletes. So for average of 25 freshmen come in, we've averaged graduating 18 the last 3 seasons straight, and I think that's important when it comes to developing and building a program. The retention of that is the big piece, seeing that the number of kids that came in is still around 75%. My math may be off a little bit, but I'm a health and PE teacher. I still got to work with numbers, right? But, I may be off a little bit, but, 18 out of 25 of an average incoming freshman class, I feel like we're doing a great job. The other part is stability. Our coaching staff is about a 3.5 average of being together. So our freshmen that are now seniors, they've had one coach, one teach, one technique throughout their whole high school career. And I think that's important when it comes to growth and development. And I believe that spearheads the college recruitment. Now we're getting towards where the kids are now. All of our kids are still playing it where they're seated. They're doing a phenomenal job. Excited about Mossy. Heard some good news out of Christopher Newport camp. So, it's good to see our young men competing. I believe Ty Todd has had a little setback, but I believe without a doubt he's going to have a even bigger comeback. But it's just good to know that our kids are playing it and growing, and most importantly, competing to get a degree. It's great to play football, great to win a district, great to win a national title. I said district, but conference title. But yet the ultimate goal is to get that education to pay it forward and have a better future. I've been in contact with several of our guys, just reaching out, making sure they're doing well, and all is well. It's just a process, right? Sometimes we got to start at the bottom of the total pole again and work our way up. But ultimately, I believe we've done a great job helping those young men develop and grow through this high school process here at Western Branch to where they're able to be patient in the process. And when their time comes, I know without a doubt, they're going to be household names.
Yeah, and Rashad, I mean, both you and I are Bruin alums. We've stayed in contact here with teachers that were mentors of ours even today. But how has it been now that you're in that coaching seat there for Bruin football, and to be a mentor and to have your staff be mentors here to this student athlete here, the next generation that's being part of Bruin football? Because definitely it was also important when we were growing up, but definitely now we definitely want to be the mentors there to those student athletes so they could win at the game of life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and there's no kind of disrespect or any bad information. I believe there was a report that this was my dream job. And in reality, it's never been my dream job. I really feel like when I was called back home, it was a calling, in my humble opinion. And it was really to be in the position I'm in. And I've shared in our coaches' meetings that, my title is Coach Cook, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, I really feel like a mentor, to these young men, to our community, our school community, and whoever will receive me. And our staff has mirrored that same thought process. Like, we're all coaches, but I think coaching is X's and O's, and coaching can be a game of life. But before you could coach the game of life, you got to build that relationship of trust with young men, and relationships beyond the game where you can have a conversation. And, it's not about football. It's about how can we help? How can we get where we need to be? And all of this is real. That's the beauty of it. And I share with Rusty and Kurt that this was a process since 2012 to make sure wherever I had an opportunity to be a leader of a program, it's authentic, it's real, and those things. And all the things that we provide, Real Talk Tuesdays, community service, all those things considered, this was a part of the plan, and it's awesome to see it come to light. But it's fun, it's fun. We are very diverse, but very like-minded as a coaching staff. Our kids understand we care about them as people first before being football players, before being a guy that can run, jump, and score touchdowns. So it's been fun. I think when it's no longer fun and when I no longer feel like I can be an impact to our young men, that's when I need to hang my whistle up, be thankful for my opportunity of leadership, and go in a different direction.
Right. Yes, and also, when you came and you took this job, the phrase that you've worked with here is with the goal, vision, and path here as you're starting here the fourth season, but third full season, as their the first season was that spring.
Hey, I gotta count COVID. It was a lot to get to that spring.
Right, that's true.
I get what you mean on paper, but man, what it took to get there, right? Think of this, and Kurt and Rusty didn't know that I took the job in COVID.
Right.
So understanding that after being announced and less than a month later, the world we knew was cut off. It was like, how do we manage to get that done, right? And the running joke is sometimes you got to hire good people and get out the way. You know what I mean? But, we made it through. Our staff persevered that moment, that time, and it really made all of us, including the student athletes that we all had a chance to develop and coach, and all things considered, it allowed us to build a relationship outside of the game to where once we got to real football, they understood that, we care. It was important. But yeah, it's also pretty unique, going into year 4. It's fun, it's exciting, and the ultimate goal is to be able to grow and develop, young men. So the Paul Billups, the Shamik Blizzards of the world have moved on. Now, how do we go back to what we love doing? Developing guys, developing talent, and getting them in a position to be successful. And that's where we are. Again, we're a young football team, but we're also seasoned when it comes to playing time at the varsity level. Now it's about catching, sinking, finding that game speed, finding that rhythm and cohesiveness to play as one Bruin.
Right. Yeah. And, and something that you and Coach Thomas told me when I stopped by there on the first official day of practice is just how you guys have seen the numbers grow.
Yes.
There with being part of Bruin football here with, both JV and varsity.
Yes.
Where the amount of kids that were trying out were they're in the triple digits.
Absolutely. Before I answer that, we're just trying to put it all together, right? It's opening night of our talk show. We'll get synced. But that goal, vision, and path has never left this program. And what do we want to get each year is like the common thing. Where are we at? What do we want to get? And we try to be realistic. We kind of share with our guys. We all just came from a planet every year, and we landed on this planet with one passion, and that we love developing, coaching, and teaching young men the game of football. Now, how do we get there? You know what I mean? So our goal, our vision, and path is always a part of this process, right? Now flipping to the other question, at the end of the day, how can I word it, Mark? It's let me say this first. It's fun. All right, it's an honor. All things considered at this leadership role, I'll say this, and I'll let you kind of share the question that you had. It's not easy, right? It takes a lot of hours. Charles, myself, Coach Black being our new defensive coordinator at the helm. It takes a lot of hours to get our kids in a position to be successful. But we love what we do, and we appreciate the opportunity. Bruin Nation, our community, they've been behind us. I ran into a former Bruin that was overseas, following all things considered West Branch High School football, and he also was an alum of our program. So we love what we do. But if you could repeat that question real quick, I'll be able to get that back to you.
Oh, I was just saying how with stopping by that first official day of practice, how both you and Coach Thomas both mentioned just how the growth in the program that you guys have seen, the numbers increase, and between JV and varsity, a little bit over 100 kids came on out this year.
Absolutely. And I think where I was going was everything considered, right? When the development is there, you're not skipping steps. So to get so many young men out of our community wanting to be a part of our program, everything I shared before that, right after you repeated that question, is all factors considered. So, at the end of the day, I like to pride myself on we love teaching the game of football and not just coaching. My philosophy is we teach during the week, we coach on Friday nights. And then my challenge to our staff is we can't expect kids to answer a test on Friday nights to questions we never gave them throughout the week. So we spend a lot more time, teaching the game, making sure guys are in the right alignment, understanding why we do what we do so they can play fast on Friday nights. But yes, so to me, it's awesome to see the growth. I believe we were around 35, 39 coming out, going into that COVID spring season. And then each year, you just seen the roster increase by 12, and then it doubled in 22. And then it feels like it tripled, you know what I mean? in fall, summer of 23. But it's a blessing and an honor. We don't take anything for granted. We appreciate all the young men that came out and tried out this year. And, for the ones that did not make it, it's still next year. We're not looking to turn any Bruin away from being successful, being in a positive environment, and growing this sport.
Yes, yeah, and just wrap it up here with I know that you got a couple new assistants, one there to work with the quarterbacks here this year.
Yes, absolutely. Well, what we filled this year were position groups that we needed to fill, not due to anything more. Coach Jay is still a part of our staff. He is just taking a lesser role to allow him to be supportive all around. And, we added Coach Keon Winley, and his feet have been on fire. He wear those gold Nikes during practice, man, but he's moving, right? Happy to be back home. We're happy to have him. It's been phenomenal for him. I've been watching him for several years, in the growth and development of, certain quarterbacks that we competed against, and just the fact that he's a Bruin and there was an opportunity. We want to continue to surround our young men with alumni that understand what it looks like. I think the deeper and the better you add those type of young men to your roster, your staff, your coaching staff, the more the kids understand purpose of being a Bruin. And, that quote that we always share, Mark, you can't hide that Bruin pride. Coach Willie is smiling every day, and we love it. We love it. Another coaching philosophy, if I could add to Coach Keon, he's done it organically. But, whoever you are, you got to bring that juice every day, right? Because our kids come for that person, that coach, that energy. And he's answered the bill at that position. We had a late hire. He's a parallel hire So he's familiar to a lot of young men that have been a part of our roster the last 2 years. Coach Brandon Delbridge, he played DB here, finished up at Oscar Smith, and played at Virginia State University, my alma mater, right?
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it was perfect. It worked out. It was quick. It wasn't a long process. And he's another guy excited, right? Again, understanding what it looks like here at Western Branch and what we want to get out of our kids and how we want to go about our business, that's key. And the more you have those guys, the more you get more players out, the more they understand what it takes to be a Bruin. And that's honoring the past, celebrating the present, while building towards our future Bruins.
Right. Yes. And, Rashad here, just, to all the listeners out there here, I mean, football's back. And yes, when school's in session, the games will be on Friday nights. But
yes,
here tomorrow, home opener, 6:00, and Western Branch's version of TNF, because NFL's not starting yet. So I'll take that slogan.
There you go.
And once we'll work on a time to get our episode 2 there next week, since next week's game is on Thursday. But when the games move to Friday, then this episode here will be each Thursday. But Rashad, any final words, and go get them there tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to share with Bruin Nation, we don't put pressure on our kids, right? I've shared this before. High expectations. Sometime in our life, we've been let down, right? So we try not to put high expectations on our young men. We just want to compete each week, make practice competitive so Friday nights are fun. So at the end of the day, we're excited. We open up tomorrow night. We would love for y'all to fill the stands, make it very, very challenging for our opponent to have any success, and go Bruins.
Yeah. Time to tee that football up and play 48 minutes of Bruin football, and time to go 1-0.
Absolutely. And 1-0 for us is each possession, each rep, each quarter, and then on the back end of 48 minutes, we'll see where we stand. Absolutely.
Yes. Well, hey, Coach Cook, and we teed it up here for season 3 here, episode 1, as we get ready here to kick off our weekly regular season episodes. So I'll let you get back to practice, and go Bruins.
Absolutely. Go Bruins.